Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Plum Bob Diaries with MJ, and today we're going to be looking at another build in my Memory Lane series. So today I want to take you through an evolution of builds. I've showed you before a restaurant build that I've made and how that restaurant first was one lot type, and then when I attempted it again, it was another one, much better, much improved, and something that I was very proud of. Now, I kind of have a similar story to multiple lots in different locations, but today the one that I'm going to show you the evolution of, it started in Windenburg. So, let me hop back into the game really quick. So, Windenburg is such a beautiful place. And if you're wondering, why am I in Windenburg? We've been seeing a bunch of Willow Creek, a little Oasis Springs. We're switching it up now a little bit. Now, we're going to end off in Willow Creek, but here's my thinking. So, I've been sharing with you guys the lore of my series and how I wanted to, go down all the thinking that came behind a lot of these builds. There was one build in particular that was for a family member for this growing together family that I made for that sort of gameplay. Now, the thing with that gameplay is I had family members all around the map in different locations in different worlds with all these different personalities so that I could experience different gameplay. And one of these family members in particular was into some different things, mystical, you might say. And they're not an occult. They're just, someone that's into another form of medium. So anyway, I'm talking about my Mayfield family. If you're familiar with my the petty campaigns let's play, I have Wilhelmina Mayfield, and she's from the city, but she has a brother called Roman Black. He changed his last name, that's just how it is. Anyway, he's called Roman Black, and originally he lived out here in Windenburg. Now, I wanted a house that was fitting for him, fitting for what he did, and we're gonna take a look at it. So this was the first version that I attempted, and mind you, he never got to actually live in this house because I thought it was too much. So let me give you a little bit of lore about Roman and why I was coming up with a house that looks a little bit spooky like this. So Roman Black is a sim from my Mayfield family, a family that I made with growing together, or for growing together in preparation, and I wanted him to be like a distant uncle, someone that's kind of like the shadow man from Princess and the Frog, right? He's in a little bit of the dark arts, right? Doesn't talk much about it, but we know he's into a little stuff that is unexplainable. So I wanted a house that would be fitting for him. And I also thought, oh, it would be cool if we could use the paranormal stuff pack as something that he did or had to deal with his house. So that means I needed to make a haunted house or something fitting for someone that'd be into voodoo, or talking with Sims on the other side. So this was my first attempt, and I thought Windenburg would be perfect because it kind of has a whimsical touch to it. Now, though I did not use this for Roman, you can still use it if you want to. Again, this house has been attempted 3 different times, and I think I'm gonna go for a 4th actually. But if you're interested, this is the Haunted Romanesque Manor. Right now I have it set to generic, but on the gallery it is a residential lot. It is a 40 by 30, and it was made for Windenburg. And you will see why I couldn't use this house, because it's so big, and I just had Roman to play with and his daughter. Like, it was just too big of a house to even, it took them forever to even walk around. Like, I just did not need all that space. So In fact, it's dark here. I'm gonna keep it dark. Let me go in live mode. I'm here with Sunny, and he is up there on the other side of the street. So I wonder, can I just, here we go. All right, so we're just gonna go on through the front door, take you guys through a proper tour. So if I go in tab mode and go through the front doors, as you can see, we kind of have still sort of an entryway with the gargoyles and the statues. We used a lot of vampires for this, and I was just obsessed with lighting. I really wanted to capture a mood. So this is basically the entryway foyer, and we had a grand staircase. In fact, if I get out of tab mode and go to the upper level, you will see that it's a 2-story ceiling. So if you like this and you like these vibes, feel free to go ahead and download the house, because that's what I made it for. But yeah, it sort of has this old medieval vibe to it. Now, the living room is off to the left over here. If I go down, back to the ground level, you will see, in fact, let me go back into tab mode so you get a better view. You will see this is the living room. So I like this because it says exactly what Roman is into. He likes, things like this, otherworldly, and, studying a little bit, but really benefiting from these abilities that he can access through, the people on the other side. So I don't know to call it an obsession or like a hobby he just enjoys a lot, but this is it. So this is his living room. There's not a TV in here. He's not a TV person, and this is before we could paint the ceilings. Also, I had family portraits over here. I didn't put any in here because, again, I didn't even get to move him in here, because after I made it, I realized this house is huge and there's no way that I'm gonna live with just 2 people in this big house. It'll take me forever to get anywhere. But anyway, it's been a long time since I've been here. I want to say that's the way to the basement. There's probably some sort of dungeon down there, and then this might be a bathroom. It is. All right, so we had a full-size bathroom on this floor, following with that very gothic theme. Love that. And then yeah, this is a back hallway. Sorry for my cough. But yeah, so if Roman were to throw a party here, he could either bartend or hire someone to be the bartender. For any other sim that's like this would be great, but yeah, it was not for Roman. So again, this leads right out into the entryway foyer. It's just extra space for no reason, just extra. Like I love it, amazing, just not for my sim and what I wanted to do. Now here's your like old looking kitchen. We really nailed the vibe. Like we captured the essence. It is here, especially to, serve people out on the, if you were having a gathering here, it's easy because you could just make the food and move it on out, put a table out there or something. But yeah. And then I want to say on this side, this was sort of ways, you have access to the dining room. So table is set beautifully. Yeah, this is huge. Got the little mini bar over there. This is amazing. Honestly, if I were you and you download this, I would just paint the ceilings and live it up in here with a family. Now over here, I believe is another bathroom because I just had so much space. Yep, another bathroom, another tub. And then I knew that because he'd be into some different activities that might require some ingredients, like what's that one activity, herbalism. He needed a greenhouse, so I attached one here. Oh, I forget. Roman had a pet cow plant. So yeah, it's different. If you are not into the whimsical gameplay, I totally understand. But for those of you who love it and are storytellers as well, you will like this. So yeah, so Roman had these special jeweled pots for super growth of plants, and he also had a pet cow plant called Galileo. Um, yeah, and then he was into like artifacts, ancient relics, and whatnot with special abilities. And then here is sort of where he would brew for herbalism, and I hope I captured the the vibe of apothecary here and elixirs and being able to, before we even had all that in future packs, this is how I did it. But it looks pretty cool in here. It's kind of cool to see this now, and it's like almost unrecognizable, like dang that I made this. So that's pretty cool. And this is a really cool greenhouse. Like this is one Morticia Adams would be proud of. And then besides that, I believe there's access to the outdoor. Yeah, so to the back of the build. Oh, there's just a painting easel here. So Roman has a daughter named Eve. Eve is a young adult vampire. Yeah, so whoever Roman was with, he got a vampire baby. But anyway, that's the lore. I actually made Eve before I made my Growing Together family. She was just so cool of a sim that I just wanted to include her. So that's the lore that I came up with. And yeah, she just started as a vampire in training when I was trying out the vampire pack. And then I was like, she's so cool. I want to see more of her. And when the Growing Together family came about, and I thought about Roman and what he did for, a hobby or for his interest, I thought, yep, you shall be the father of Eve. So that's how that went. Is that a wisp? Or is that plant? It just, can I, how far can I zoom? It's just a glowing plant. Okay. But that's it. There's not much of a yard here. I swear it looks like a witch lives in this estate. But yeah, the other thing is this supposed to be a manor. I can't remember how many rooms I made. If it's just 2 rooms here, again, that doesn't follow my present day rule of, for it to be a house, it has to at least have 2 rooms. So we both will be surprised when we figure out what exactly is upstairs. So before we go downstairs, let's take a look upstairs to see what's actually up there. So again, I love this foyer. I wish there was some way I could have used this. It was just too big. Alright, so I'm going to leave out of tab mode because I don't know how to go up the stairs in tab. If you guys know, please share with me. Now, again, this is the rest of the house. Oh, Lord. I love this. I love the idea of like, oh, I can look over my balcony and look down. Cool. It's also giving frat house. You can like imitate this. But anyway, this is the vibe that I want. Imagine playing the organ, in that spot. It's a vibe. It is definitely a vibe. All right, but hold on. Let me make sure I'm still recording, and I am. So let's continue. Go back into the build. If I go into tab mode, we might as well stop by this front door. As you can see, we had a little card table here where I don't know what was being played, symbols. I'm not sure if you have Growing Together. The older card tables are now updated, being able to play that, because I don't think I've ever realized these pieces on this particular table before. Or it could be a trick of the eye. Maybe the hauntings are like messing with my visions. But anyway, let's see. I remember this room slightly. This was Roman's office. So it was an office that, in my opinion, if Dumbledore lived here, this would be his office. So you have the bottom area for like written documents. You can write in the journals and whatnot. Now would be perfect for life and death with the bucket list. But again, I made this years ago, like after Growing Together came out. And here we have like a sort of a platform, which is cool because it adds some like, interest to the room, and definitely reminds me of those old school like rooms that just have a platform for no reason. Like it's just raised up. And then we got this little typewriter here. I wish we had an actual typewriter. This is the closest thing we got to it, because this is a manor. It's a very, very old manor. I don't see, I really can't see a like literal computer being in here, but hey, you gotta make it function. And then we got this beautiful stained glass window that I added, and these old bookshelves. So yeah, that is the office. And then Roman was supposed to have a cat, so that's why that's there. Or Eve was supposed to have, one of them was supposed to have a cat. I can't remember. So anyway, we'll go through here. Yeah, from what I can tell already, I think this house is just so huge. And I think there's only 2 bedrooms now that it's coming back to me. And what are you going to do with a house this big with only 2 bedrooms? Okay, I lied. There's not just 2. Here's a bedroom here. So this must be a guest bedroom. Nice. And then, let me guess, bathroom? Yep, bathroom here. And then this chamber leads to Eve's room. So, yeah, so this would be in Eve's room. Eve is into art. That's why there's easels everywhere. And paintings, and we got a little purple over here. So yeah, this would have been Eve's room that she would have grew up in. And oh, did I give her an ensuite? See, the size of these bathrooms alone could be a whole nother room. If I were you and you like this build and you actually want to use it, just tear these walls down and make that a room. That way you can have 3 bedrooms on this one side. Cause yeah, it makes no sense just to have this many, like all this space for a bathroom. Or what you could do is move Eve's door over, pull this out. Let me show you. And again, this is on the gallery already. So this version that I have in my save is right. It's not what you guys will get, but if you wanted an extra bedroom, you could easily just move that there and then just add a door. So yeah, and then everyone can share that. Matter of fact, let me turn the grid off. If you put this parquet flooring everywhere, do that. Boom, 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 boom. Da da da. Add another little purple rug. Keep with the aesthetic. Add another bed. And then, boom. And now you have an extra room. Yeah, because it's ridiculous how much space I used. Anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot that these were, all you can do is just shift this over. You don't need this to take up all that space. Make sure that's centered. I got a mouse. I'm working with a mouse, guys, so bear with me. Oh, that's like too far over. Alright, so yeah, you got a carpet moved over. Now you got 3 bedrooms. And then have another bedroom over here. And then there's a closet in this bedroom. Oh, cool. See, I'm thinking of gameplay. This room also has access to the attic. I'll show you guys that. Matter of fact, I'll show you now. I definitely wanted this build to be quirky a bit. So you go up 1 level. There's nothing here. You can put something here if you want to. And then you go up another level and... oh, that listening device. I must love that listening device because clearly I had it on my mind for multiple builds. But who knows? Maybe you had another sim that's quirky. If you like whimsical gameplay and whimsical storylines, you might have an, you know how like the Addams Family has Uncle Fester, right? So what if your Uncle Fester lives in that little attic, you know, through another room, up a ladder? eh, you can do anything you want. And anyway, what we got over here? Over here is access to Roman's room. So this would be Roman's room. And we go through here. We use the big giant door that came with Get Together. Yeah. So this is Roman's room. As you enter his room, you see his wardrobes, you see his spirit dolls, you see his journals, his tomes. Like, clearly you can see he likes to, you know, study, and some items hold sentiment to him. And then that's just where he rests. Oh, I forgot, I got a couple of voodoo dolls on the nightstand. That's different. Little tea, maybe he sips his tea in the morning. This was the thinking, or at least what I'm thinking, I was thinking at the time. And then this is his restroom, you know, full tub, all that. But yeah, this is really cool for a Gothic style build, medieval build, something like that. Really, really nice. We kind of knocked it out the water. All right. And then of course, I showed you guys the bathroom, right? Yes, I did. So that's everything. Well, no, that's not everything. There is a basement. So before I move on to my second attempt, my version 2 of the house for Roman, let me show you guys the basement. So over here, and that's a shame. It's such a beautiful house that I just could not use. Over here, if we go down here, this is a stairwell to the basement. So I'm just gonna go down. So you go down a level, go down the stairs. This is what you see. Go in tab mode so I can give you guys a proper tour. So yeah, it's just stairs on this level. And again, is there anything back here? No. Yeah, you might want to put some, you could put wine racks down here if you want to. If you want the wine making machine, you could do that. But yeah. Also, there's a bathroom downstairs, because I was just being practical. Because I'm like, what if you're downstairs, you don't want to go up another floor, or your sim had to rush? You know how sims are with using the restroom. They need to go right then and there. And then through here is sort of like his ritual chamber. So as you can see, we this is even creepier than I remember. So yeah, he had to have somewhere to practice his art of communing with the other side, and so this is what I came up with. So yeah, so this was the idea of just having a seance table, markings on the floor, candles everywhere, and his little altar right here with a bunch of different things that he cherished and that he's found over time. So yeah, I just pulled quite a few items out of debug, and that's what we got. I'm sure there's ghosts in there if you go to live mode and you live in this house. This is a cool item. This came with what is it, either Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos. I could be mistaken, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a holiday in which you honor the dead, and then you get blessed, and this blessing offers you safety from any accidents, and if the Grim Reaper should pop up, you are safe. You will not die. So I really like that, and not just for occult gameplay and whimsical gameplay. It's just a nice item to have. So, and I put this in a lot of my different households of, like, you know, Spanish background. So I like that. Over here is just another little area where he might meditate, and there's two here because there'll be one for Roman and one for E, where they can meditate together and you know, just keep track of their chakras and their how they're feeling. So really love that. Now, originally this space was not going to be this big. I just so happened to make it this big because I realized I am playing with a vampire sim. She needs a coffin. So this was a last minute addition that I added because I'm like, oh, what can I do to, you know, give her an extra space without it interrupting what's going on over there. So I just put it up on a little raised platform over here to itself. So yeah. So this is because this is Eve's area. She doesn't have to sleep here. She can sleep in a bed, but she would sleep much better and be able to meditate if she was in this coffin. So yep, that is the ritual room. So if you are loving this, you like this, this would have been dope around Halloween time. Uh, yeah, if you like this, like by all means, go ahead and download the build. Let me give you guys an overview of the floor plan. This is so huge. Another thing, if you like this, this list on platforms, you could close these off and do these as two separate bedrooms if you wanted to. Like really. If you had a big family and needed the extra space. But yeah, this is the Haunted Romanesque Manor. It is a beauty, but yeah, it is big. So if you're not ready for all this space, I don't know what to tell you. But it is a 40 by 30. It is called Haunted Romanesque Manor, and it is a residential lot. Uploaded to my gallery. If you want to find it, again, go to my gallery ID, MarshaTac12. Alrighty, so that is it with this build. I could stop here, and next time I'll show you guys. Matter of fact, because I know I was gonna do a 3-in-1, but you know what? I'll just do another video. That way you guys can take this in chunks so that it's not too much all at one time. So yeah, stay tuned for the second part of Roman's house and how that turned out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, for tuning in, for enjoying going down memory lane with me. I had fun with this. That was such a big house. I didn't even think it would take me that long to explore and tour, but it did. So anyway, yeah, I'll be back with another one of Roman's builds. And again, share what you guys think in the comments. All of you who are for whimsical gameplay and like this kind of build, let me know. I want to hear it. And if you plan on downloading it, let me know. All right, so until next time, bye.